Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about Kena, Bridge of Spirits. So there was a lot of fuss about this game, if it's good or not. Some even argued that this game is the biggest garbage ever. I wouldn't fully agree. But a game produced by an animation studio doesn't seem so promising. So in this review I packed it all together so you will learn everything you need to know about this game. I will talk about what I adore about the game, but also what I don't like, because it has some things that can even break the game to some extent. I separated the whole video in parts for a better overlook, and I will not spoil the ending, because I'm not a monster. I will just talk really about minor things about the game story. Okay, alright, nice. Sit back, relax, smash that like button, sub if you didn't, and let's jump right into it. So I didn't know anything about the game, it just appeared one day in my Epic store and the critics started talking. I didn't want to spoil anything for me, so I didn't watch any review or before you buy. So I just bought the game and started playing. And from the beginning I was shocked. Because the game was bad? No. Because it looks downright gorgeous. Ember Labs is first and foremost an animation studio and they showed their strengths from the beginning. Just to say it, in the regards of the name of the game, if it was unclear, you don't play as a bridge, but not play as a spirit. You play as Kena and you will dive into a magical world that will remind you of many Pixar movies you've seen last years. Is that good? Bad? Well, the answer depends on you. I like the feel, even if it looks more to appeal to the younger audience. But don't let the game trick you, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, but the game loves to shift the vibes of the game pretty frequently. The story, to keep it short, is that corruption plagued the whole village, and that's where Kena steps in. On her way to clear the corruption, she is trying to find her lost father. The game has a dark tone to it, talking about death and spirits and the loss of her father. It would be much better they focusing on that part, but still, where the game lacks in the story element, the graphics were... I played the game on my PC, first to say, at max settings, and this YouTube video doesn't do any justice. Trust me, the game is freaking eye candy. Ember Labs crafted really something beautiful. As you start to play this game, you will see many small details they implemented. From small roots following you around with their silly hats, to grass waving near you, to small leaves falling from the trees. They really tried to make the whole world to be alive. Oh, you ask me what the roots are? Basically they are woodland creatures, but not those woodland creatures from South Park, so you don't mix them up, okay? Do you remember Overlord? Exactly, they are your minions and you enslave them to do your hideous tasks and biddings. So the name of the game could be also Kena the Overlord. Jokes aside, but how the studio blended the corruption with a cheerful graphics is something great. It gives us a sense of curiosity of what happened in the village. Sound-wise, the voice acting was on point, you will see no difference to a Pixar movie in this game. But the soundtrack was amazing, it's really something that shocked me how good it is. It sounds maybe weird, but it has somewhat of a nostalgic feel to it, at least to me, especially the Forgotten Forest music. It reminds me of some extent to what Jeremy Soule would compose. But the combat music is also great, how they're using wooden stick noises for the battles. Nice touch. It's hard to describe music with words, and I don't want to mess with YouTube because of the strikes. But I hope I've given you a general sense of how it feels. But now to the meat and bones, the gameplay. Well, the combat was disappointing to me at first, because it was too easy and too simple, just hit, block, block, hit. So light and heavy attack, block, roll, and that's it. In my review of Senua, the link is in the description, I stated the same thing, how the combat is good, but it's missing some deeper combat mechanics. Thanks to God, Ember Labs did a few more things in this game to mix it up, first being the bow and later the bombs. And the enemy variety is also here, what I didn't expect at all. You will fight all kinds of different monsters with different weaknesses and strengths. From flying types to self-destructive bombers to heavy tank-like opponents and a mix of both sometimes. What sucked was it takes some time to reach the bow, same thing with the bombs. But when you get it, Kena slowly becomes complex and the combat gets more fun and challenging. You will have to juggle with all weapons and abilities to get the better end in the fights. In the game there are also many boss fights, and every boss has something unique to them. There also included some RBG elements that really felt bland and too simple to even waste words on it. You have a few abilities for every weapon and that's it. The only good thing is that everything you learn you will need to use to survive. There are also some puzzles in the game and light platform segments, so a mix of everything. And the jumping feels a bit off, like the story. So the story, let's cut to the chase fast. I didn't like the story, it was too bland. You know when you start to play a game and the game gets hold of you and doesn't let you go and you wonder what's next? The feeling was just missing in this game. You're playing as Kena and not as a bridge as we already concluded. You are a spirit guide. What does a spirit guide do? He helps people to cross to the spirit world, as her father was doing before her. Kena introduces us to some side characters and their history, but after a few missions you do for them, it's like they just don't exist anymore, simply they feel like side characters, and I didn't attach to them. Maybe the most memorable was the two young twins you meet at the beginning, and their story was somehow sad. And compared to the other characters you meet, you will spend most of the time on finding their older brother, so maybe that's why I got more attached. Kena, even it has a good voice actor, at the end of the day it lands a bit flat. It's not as memorable and hard-hitting it could be in my opinion. But overall meh would be a great description. It isn't bad, it isn't good, it exists, it's there and that's it. So Kena isn't a Zelda game, what many expected, but should you skip the game? Well no, this isn't also a 100+ hour game. The game is open, but not like an open world game, but like divided into huge chunks, but with good a sense of scale and overview to other parts. The game hasn't almost any loading screens, and when they came up, at least at the PC, they are just few seconds. What I found great is that the village acts as your hub world, and I'm sucker for hub levels. But sadly, this hub world is just boring, because besides clearing the corruption after bringing the spirit mails, there isn't much to do. Regards to the roots, I said you will be using them for some abilities and puzzles, but nothing mind-blowing. They act like more like a gimmick. You can buy silly heads for them and that's it. There are also some collectibles, but the problem lies, the roots at the beginning gives you levels, so it's nice to find them, but the problem I had is I had over 1000 points to spend, but the leveling menu has only a few abilities, so you can easily upgrade everything in your first playthrough. As the game hasn't any alternative ending, there isn't any point to collect the smiley puffy guys or the heads, so there isn't any replay value. The spirit mails were fun to collect because you can clear out the corruption in the village, but aside from achievement there isn't anything to it. The problem is that the game looks to appeal to a younger audience, but on the flip side the game isn't that easy and it will kick you to the curb, just to be warned. What is actually okay. What sucked ass is that you can easily exploit the combat, and when you make the realization you can do something to make the game more easier, I don't see why wouldn't you use it. The problem lies that every time you jump and shoot, it slows time, and there are enemies where you have to hit certain parts to get extra damage. So you get my point. Combined with a bomb that stuns them, you can use that into a loop they can escape, what can later break the game to some point if you're overusing it. So is Kena Bridge of Spirit worth your time? I would still say yes. For $40 and as an indie title, it managed to give a good and solid combat system, a beautiful and astonishing movie-like graphics, an okay story that will keep you entertained. It started pretty relaxing and chill, but after the half of the game, a challenge awaits, so be prepared. If you look past the shortages the game has, you will find a nice and enjoyable game to pass your time. I hope with this short review I checked all boxes you wanted to hear about the game, so it's now for you to decide if the game is worth buying and to be the new overlord of the roots. Thanks for making to the end of the review, I hope you enjoyed. I tried to keep it all short and I hope you heard everything you want to know about this game. If you have any suggestions for the next review, please comment down below, and of course I wanna hear your opinions about the game. Thanks for watching, make sure you share the video, like, subscribe if you didn't, and see you in the next one. Snorky, over and out.